Well, hello guys, hello, and welcome to Mima Talk. If it's your first time, my name is Jemima, and this is Mima Talk. This is a space where real stories meet real conversations, and now I am very intentional in inviting friends, inviting colleagues, especially nurses, so that to be in this safe space, and then we have discussion about our journey to UK. We explore the challenges, the triumphs, the culture shocks, the career struggles, the beauty of starting it all over in a different country. We share these stories to empower ourselves, to encourage ourselves, and to motivate each other to just keep going, to just keep hustling, and to keep grinding. This is my part 2. If you haven't seen my part 1, kindly click on the link below. I started and I've shared my journey, how I started to relocate from Ghana to UK. Now I'm gonna continue with the part 2. So if you're really interested, if you're glued to, stay tuned, and then please subscribe, and please share, and come over if you want to grab your coffee, your tea, sip on it while I tell you my second part of my UK experience. So welcome back guys. This again is Mima Talk. So continue from where I ended. Obviously now I'm in UK. So as I said earlier on, my employer sent me to, or me and my colleagues, to apartments. I would say they were safe, they were lovely, ensuite for each individual, and some colleagues actually do live there till now. They are hospital accommodation, but they're privately owned, and I think the hospital has some part for them for work, obviously, and some part privately. Friends also live there, apply to live there. I'm not good with single beds, I just had to leave. So we got in, we were 4 in our apartment, and obviously each person had their own bathroom. 3 of us landed the same day, and then the 3rd person joined the next day. That was the 27th. So we got to UK 26th of October 2021. It was COVID time, as I said. It was a bit cold. Obviously it was autumn or fall, and obviously coming from a warm country, I mean, for me the weather was all right. It wasn't so bad actually. And then, as I said earlier, fridge stocked with food. We couldn't go out for the next, I'm thinking 7 days, or were we quarantined for 10 days? 7 or 10. And then they were like, if you need anything, you just let us know, and everything. Very lovely, very loving people, or team, I would say. Assisted us with our luggage into the apartment. Everything was just really great. I would say my trust really did well in welcoming our cohort. That's what I know. In my cohort, I would say. And then obviously I met friends. I met nurses, colleagues, I would say. And I remember me being the sanguine and the talkative and the loud one. And yeah, and I think also having lived in a different country and knowing how it is to be a foreigner, I just went and knocked into each other's room. I'm like, hey, hello ladies, please come out. Hello ladies, please come out. At that time there were 3, right? So they came out, sat down. I'm like, okay, now you're listen. It is difficult to be a foreigner in someone else's country. I've been it before. So for us to survive, we need to stick together like a glue. Let's stick together, let's love on each other, let's bond, and then we'll be good. Because depression, mental health is real. Now, if you go and be back home in Africa, where we sort of undermine mental health, because sometimes you got family here, you turn around, family's there, you turn around, loved ones are there, friends are there, or people look like you, it is not the same here. This is a different world. This is a different aspect of your life. And things are gonna get real, yeah. So I told them, and they were actually very accommodating. They were like, oh, sure. Then we just started introducing ourselves, like, okay, my name is Jemima, I'm this, I'm that, yeah, I wasn't trained in Ghana, but I've been in Ghana for a while now. I was in Ghana from 2016 to 2021. So that's about 5 years, yeah. So That's me. My other friend introduced herself as well. She's still currently actually with our trust, and she didn't know she came pregnant. Okay. So yeah, she introduced herself, a nurse as well. She's still with the trust, lovely person. And then the third person, also, so D was married, so obviously she came, and then later on went for her husband. A was still single, and yeah, so A also introduced. I'm just not really going to mention their names out of respect and privacy, I guess. But then as time goes on, if they're all happy to get on here and share their story, say I'm lovely, I'm happy, we'll just talk about things. And then A also introduced herself, shared, you know, how far and everything. And then that was it. We just became a clique, literally. And everybody who was in our cohort knows the clique I'm talking about. And then the next day, F showed up, and I'm like, bitch. She was giving us a bit attitude, but obviously it was all because she had a very bad experience in the flight and then coming over. And then I remember D was like, so should we tell her that, like, we're doing things together? We even cooked together. That night we got to UK, to that apartment, we just came together. A is very bubbly, sanguine, loud, you know. I'm like, oh, my kind of girl. We made food, and we had frozen potatoes. We thought it was carrots. We used it to make fried rice. When we finished eating and we read the label, we're like, oh my gosh, that was sweet potato. I hate, that's what we could make, and it was fine. And then D was like, do you think we should tell F that, like, we're sort of doing things together so things are not hard? I'm like, yeah, sure, but her mood and attitude is giving me off. I don't have time for stress, you know. And then D was very nice. She's very calm, very loving, yeah, and very tolerable, I would say. So she went to talk to her. She was like, oh yeah, fine, I'll just come join you guys. And then that was it. We became the four girls of the cohort. And yeah, so I think after 2 days or 3 days, we started our OSCE preparation. And you know, it was online on Zoom. I hope I'm right. It was on Zoom. And then obviously everybody would join from their rooms. And then only our group, we were like, okay, we're going to join together, guys. I brought my laptop out. I'm like, we're going to join on the laptop. So we joined on the laptop. You see 3 girls just sat behind in front of the computer. They were like, I remember my teacher, the tutor at that time, she was like, Jemima. I'm like, yeah, it's me and my friends, like, we're together, we're doing it together. And I think it was a good thing, because when you're stuck in your room listening, doing online stuff, you just feel sleepy and you just sleep off. But with this one, because you've got, when you're sleepy, we just pinch you, you know. And then obviously OSCE is also more practical. We did it on ourselves, we practiced on ourselves, empowered each other. It's just a sisterhood that we just started building or brewing, I would say. And then yeah, literally, I remember when quarantine was over, and obviously in class I was a bit loud. I'm just, you know. And then I remember we went out to Primark and then, or Sainsbury's, we're shopping. And one of our colleagues so at the time we had met people, we've seen faces on Zoom, but we didn't know them individually. We didn't know how the whole body really looked like, you know. And then I remember someone was like, oh, I have heard Jemima's voice. And we're like, we want to see this Jemima. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And I would say we had a blast in our cohort. And obviously we went to write our exams. We went to Ulster, Ireland, went to write our exams. So the trust also paid for our hotel accommodation, paid for our flight to Ulster, Ireland as well. We went there, we wrote Northern Ireland, we wrote our exams, and oh my gosh, I remember I was so stressed because I feel like I had lots of weight on me, because at the moment I have a master's degree and I expect myself to do better. Like, I can't fail. And at that time I had never failed in exams before. I can't fail. And you know, this thing in you as a black lady or as a black person, where when you're in academia or when you're doing things, you're like, you can't fail, and then you put so much pressure on yourself because education, or yeah, it's like that, like you don't want that, you know. And I started having twitches. My eyelid were twitching. I'm like, wow, yes, I'm stressed. At that time, I didn't even know magnesium could calm me down. But even if I knew magnesium could calm me down, I didn't have any access to magnesium at that time, you know. My eyelids were twitching. I was like, yeah, because I'm really stressed, guys. When I'm stressed, my eyelids twitch. And we went to write our OSCE. We went to write the exams all together. And it was a Friday, and then obviously the weekend, so you're not gonna know your result. So it was a very quiet and stressful weekend. And then on Monday, I remember I received my message. I'm like, oh my god, I passed! And I screamed, and they were like, okay, let's check our emails. And then F checked it, she's like, I passed. H, I passed, and then D's delayed a bit. It came past. We're like, oh, thank God, because the way we cannot afford to fail. Fall out, girls, y'all better pass. Yeah, so we did pass, and we were so excited. I was like, oh my god, you know. At that time, funny enough, you know, because people who at school together, they actually knew plans. Like apparently people they had applied to the America, and American process takes long, so then they rather chose to come to UK while they wait and be here. All those information, I had no idea. I didn't know. Again, for me, it was just, okay, I'm ready, let's move. And I just happened to have fallen into this whole cohort thingy to come to UK. I really didn't know. Yeah, so we had passed, and then our allocation came to the ward, and then for my trust we have 3 sites, and then we were all like, oh, we want to go to one site, Basingstoke. We're in Basingstoke, we want to be in Basingstoke, you know. And then God being so good, all of us also went to Basingstoke. And then D was sent to the same ward as I was, which is a COVID ward. And because D was pregnant, she couldn't. So that was when she disclosed that she's pregnant, so she can't go to a COVID ward, obviously. So they moved her to a different ward. Then I went to the COVID ward. Because it was COVID ward, there were lots of nurses that were sent there, because obviously at that time when you get COVID, you're supposed to stay home for 10 days. So because nurses who are taking care of patients with COVID are obviously highest risk for getting COVID, so we had lots of nurses, just so when someone stays home for 10 days, there will be other person or other nurse to step in and sort of, you know, make sure the ward was actually in control. We were COVID ward for 2 years. I had COVID. I gave it to all my girls, because we were eating together, doing everything together. Yeah, so it just happened. All of them got COVID. One actually had to also end up in ED. It was really bad. COVID was a very interesting episode. And I remember when I joined so I started work in December. So in UK, October, processing October, November, and then I started work in December, and it was cold, and yeah, I still had to go to work, and taking care of COVID patients, it wasn't easy. And the next year, 2022, around June, July, I actually was featured on BBC. I think I should post it here. Yeah, so BBC obviously came over. My matron picked me to talk to BBC about my experience, you know, being an immigrant nurse, coming in, helping, supporting. It wasn't easy. So now with the way the lawmakers are really making immigrants and things, you know, I look back, I'm like, I took care of COVID patients. We took care of, at the time we came, everywhere you go, immigrant nurses, even till now, you could just see that they really did not have personnel. There was shortage, and I can just imagine how things were, because the way people were, we were cohort 8 or 9, we were cohort 9, and then cohort 10, cohort 11, cohort 12, you know? And obviously COVID wasn't easy, as I'm saying. One experience was when I remember this patient, everybody thought he was okay. Everybody thought he was fine. He was fine. He would walk around, though he was in a side, you walk around, you know, he was talking to his friends. He was like, you know, apparently I've got COVID. That's why I was feeling this and that. And then I remember in 2 days, I went to work. They were like, he passed away the previous day. I was like, are you serious? You must be joking. No. They were like, yeah. All of a sudden, he started going downhill, cardiac arrest, and just like that, gone. I'm like, he was on his phone. He was walking. Yeah. COVID. Yeah. I guess COVID was a very universal something for all of us. Shock experience. It did open so many avenues and so many doors for so many people, I would say. Yeah, but it also obviously took away lots of things from us as humans. It was one of the reasons why I guess most people were able to relocate to UK. Legal migrants came here for a reason. We helped. And obviously we're working, you're paying your tax, you're paying your NI. We're definitely contributing a lot to the economic growth of the country. I mean, I don't have any benefits. I'm okay though, you know. So yeah, I stayed on my ward, or that ward. So originally it was a diabetic and endocrinology ward, and obviously it was converted to COVID. So after 2 years, we changed to diabetes and endocrinology ward. I think after that time, everybody that had COVID was just, you know, a type of flu. You just popped in a side room. We had isolation ward as well that could contain that. We knew how to handle COVID. So it didn't become that scary disease anymore, you know, that would just take someone out. Yeah, so we went back to our ward, and then because of that, actually we were a bit of overstaffed, and the nurses were being moved around. And then I'm like, maybe I just have to also move, you know. I need to move. In that experience, I had friends who were moved, friends who are currently specialists actually in diabetes endocrinology, which is lovely. Yeah, so being there after 3 years, I was like, maybe I should go to ICU. And then I applied to ICU and I got it. So I started ICU 2024 September till now. I've been 1 year in ICU and it's been great. Still contributing to the economy of United Kingdom. The struggles. I think for me, because I was trained in a different country, in a foreign country. I'd worked in a foreign country before. Obviously, because also when I was working, I was with more of computer. So I was okay. I think my greatest really struggle was in ICU, because I'd never been an ICU nurse before. It was challenging. And I've also got into a stage in my life where I understand that you don't really have to work hard, or you don't really have to be the smartest person in the room to be the richest person in the room. And I'm more on financial development and things. So there's a part of my brain I just don't want to use it. I'm just being lazy, which I know if I use it, I'll be really good, because I'm a good student and I'm a good, you know. Yeah, but then ICU challenge me. ICU is like, you have to use that brain, whether you like it or not. So I need to tap into that part of the brain. Physically as well, 3 to 4 hours strictly repositioning of patients. My back, 3 months into ICU, I started having waist pain I've never had before. I was like, what is this? Yeah. And then I remember, I think I had anxiety. You know, if you have a long day, I'm not able to sleep. I'll sleep like at 2. And then it's like when it's in the morning, that's when you're so sleepy, you're going to work feeling also sleepy. But it's a lovely team. They're so supportive. And I remember one of our band's sisters recommended a masseuse who, she's good, she gives me good massage and, you know, stretching. And yeah. And one of my bosses, I would say, she's like, you should have come to talk to me. I'm always asking how you are. And then my mom like, well, you know, black girls, like, we don't believe in all this anxiety and things. She's like, and then how did it go? I'm like, I know. Obviously, so now we talked about my fears, my worries. And everybody actually went through. You talk to your colleagues, everybody's like, oh yeah, we went through that. It's normal, you know. Because of course, it's IC, you know, any mistake you make, you can actually really take someone's, you know, life. Someone could just easily die, and it's very sensitive. It's a very critical area, you know. And I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm so happy I made that decision and that choice to actually work in ICU. So what my professional challenge really was there. It challenged me, and so far, if I'm surviving, I guess I'm okay. There's no longer anxiety. I'm actually excited and happy to go to work. Do you know something though? When I joined IC in September, in December, they had Christmas party I attended. They were like, you are crazy. I'm like, listen, I've been in this stress for at that time for like almost 4 years. Christmas party, you guys are lovely, I'm coming. I need a reason to glam up and enjoy, and it was one of the best Christmas party I'd ever attended. I had a great time. I had a good time. Yeah, and yeah, I've made friends. I'm still making friends, and I'm still going through this ICU journey. Because of ICU, I chose to lose weight intentionally. Really changed my diet. I work out. I actually worked out today twice. In the morning I went to the gym, tonight I went to the gym, and then I'm filming. I'm very intentional about what I eat now. I'm very intentional about my moves, because I need to sort of really handle or work with my core. My core needs to be strong. I need to be physically fit to be able to provide the best quality care I can give to my patients. So yeah, IC really stretched me, and I'm happy that I was able to also sort of figure out or find ways to be able to survive or cope and handle the physical, mental, intellectual stress it brings. At the moment, I'm also I'm also doing private courses because I love aesthetics, you know. So UK has actually been a very interesting journey. And yeah, if you really like this, I feel like there should be more that I have to say, but I think I'll just end here and see how you guys react to the story time. And obviously, as I said, I'm definitely going to invite my colleagues here as well, so they can also share their stories, they can share their struggles, why they came, how they came, and then how things have been. And I know some people have had really life-changing experiences. For me, no, I would say no major experience because I'm still single. You know, and I know some people who've had kids, who got married, like literally have big weddings, married, kids now, you know, personal changes as well. And of course, some people professionally too have advanced. I just changed my area of career, but I'm still a band 5 here in my trust. And yeah, I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it, and hope to see what the future brings. So thank you very much for being part of my talk today. If you enjoyed my story, if you enjoyed my journey from UK, stay tuned, and obviously click on the next video I pop here. And also to every immigrant that is here in the UK, to every nurse, to everyone building a new life, hey, don't forget your story really matters. I feel like I want us to share our stories now, because it looks like this year, next year, and next 2 years, people are going to be having their ILR, people are going to be having their passport, and that's also a different journey and a different experience, really. So let's talk about our lives. Let's share our stories. Let's really tell the world how we got here, how we've contributed, the things we've done to the UK. And so much. Thank you for joining me on my Mima Talk today. If today's conversation inspired you, if you're really glued in, if you're really interested, do not forget to like, do not forget to share, do not forget to subscribe. And then until next time, stay bold, stay growing, and stay shining.